YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with some more NFL record predictions for the 2020 NFL season, going game by game, and we will do every single team. There's a playlist. You can find a link for that down in the description and comments for every single team we've done so far and every team we're going to do in the future. This video for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I will predict the records, and then I'll circle back and kind of do a best case scenario record prediction. Appreciate everyone for their support. We just hit 50K subscribers yesterday, so that's awesome. Really appreciate you guys for joining us for every episode here. Please subscribe to both of our channels. We actually have two of them. You'll find a link down below for anything that you need, including our Twitter, which you're going to want to follow because once I get through a division of record predictions, you guys will vote for who wins that division. You guys are basically going to create a future video by doing that. We have a podcast link down below for that as well. And moving on to playoffpredictors.com, which is the site that I'm using to make these predictions. Jacksonville Jaguars. You guys can go ahead and go to the site, make your predictions, come back to the comments. But for the Jags, yeah, it seems like for the most part, people are ranking them towards the bottom of the NFL. And what I've kind of noticed is I think the NFL is in a pretty good, in terms of the talent, pretty good state. There's really no bad teams. Usually there's a team that's, obviously bad. There's really none of those teams. Like I think that I would agree that the Jaguars are probably, towards the bottom of the league. And their record may not show, kind of the talent they have because somebody's going to finish. Every week somebody's got to lose. I like their pass rush, even if Ngakoue doesn't play. Josh Allen, huge fan of his last draft, and he was fantastic last season. Adding Clavon Chase on, big time, good pairing there. The secondary is kind of the weaker spot. They improved the linebacker unit, perhaps. Maybe it won't be that much improved right away. Then looking at the offense, that's where I kind of worry about them. It's an offensive league, obviously. I just don't know if they put up enough points, consistently. Not sold on Gardner Minshew yet. I know Jags fans probably are. That's their quarterback. Just need to see more. When Nick Foles came back too early from the injury and they still put him in, I think there's a reason for that. I was probably higher on Minshew than the Jaguars actually were themselves where they drafted him. So I think they're trying to get the team ready for the future quarterback. It could be Minshew. I'm just not sold yet, impressive rookie season. Just definitely need to see more. Guys like Fournette, not thrilled with the team. How much is he going to play? I like adding a guy like Shenault. DJ Chark should be better by default. How will the offensive line be? I like Jawan Taylor addition last year. Cam Robinson kind of inconsistent contract year. So could be, I'm not expecting too good of a year for the Jags, to be honest. I just don't know if they put up enough points. Need to see from Minshew. But we're going through the predictions here. Colts, Jags, could go either way week one. Maybe the Jags are a little more prepared because the Colts had a new quarterback, some changes there. Week one, random things happen. So Jags could be more prepared. I just think the Colts are the much better team right now, so I'm going to take the Colts in that one. But again, could go either way. And again, we'll circle back and do best case scenario. In Tennessee, I'll take the Titans. Very complete team, very good team in my opinion. Then you got Dolphins at Jags here. I think the Dolphins still kind of adjusting, a lot of new faces. It's Thursday Night Football in Jacksonville. I will take the Jags in that one. The Jags taking on Joe Burrow here. In Cincy, should be a good one. I think the Bengals probably a little better than people think. Take the Bengals. Jags at Texans. I will take the Texans in this one. Lions, pretty tough draw here. If the Jags were playing the Lions later, they'd probably beat them. Playing the Lions within the first 6 weeks, pretty tough. Because Lions are usually a pretty good team then because they're healthy. To the Lions, so kind of a rough start here. Again, they can win. They used to win games purely off defense. I don't know if they have the entire defense for that, but they can win games based off the pass rush. Problem is the pass rush is just coming from the edge. They really need interior help. Pretty badly, so they're still on the way trying to fix that. Bye week 7 is a pretty good bye week. They'll play the Chargers. The Chargers could be getting rolling by this time. They could start off a little slow. I'll take the Chargers. I did have the Texans beating the Jags twice here against the Packers. I took the Packers. This is a rough schedule for the Jags. Just a team that's still, I think, rebuilding. They made that obvious by the moves they made in the offseason, still rebuilding. I like the Steelers over them. I think too much pass rush for them, and then they'll be able to score on that defense. Same with the Browns. It's just the problem with the Jags because I just don't know if they can keep up scoring, and you can score on that defense too. It's not the same defense. I had the Browns over the Jags. I had the Vikings over the Jags. I had the Jags sneaking one out, and the Titans seem like they can do that. Minshew played pretty well against the Titans last year. That's before they started to heat up, though. And then there's just tough teams here. Ravens, if Nick Foles is healthy, at this point, that's kind of the question. I think Nick Foles gets revenge on the Jags. And then I have the Colts. Colts will be a good team by this time of the year. So I only have 2 wins. Jags fans not going to be happy with me, but that's my prediction. I can't predict every team to go 16-0. I'm not going to predict any team to go 16-0. I think the roster probably better than 2-14, but just the way the matchups are, the way who they play here and when they play them, just how it is. I'm not really sold on Gardner Minshew, like I said. I think the stats were kind of inflated last year. Teams didn't know what to expect. He started off good at the end of the year when he came back in. You replaced Foles pretty quickly after they put Foles back in, which there was a reason for that. He played teams that were kind of just done, playing the Falcons defense, playing the Raiders that were just going south, kind of inflated stats. So I don't expect a whole bunch. But I'm not saying he can't be good. Again, I think I was a little higher on than most people in the pre-draft process. You just can't have too many expectations quite yet. I think they're still rebuilding. They're trying to get the team ready, and then they're going to decide on their future quarterback. Kind of going back, what the best case scenario could be, they can definitely win Week 1. They can take down the Bengals. They can take down the Lions, perhaps. They can split with the Texans. Possibly beat the Browns. I did have them beating the Titans once, a very good football team there that was heating up late. Maybe Nick Foles is kind of beat up by this point. So I think best case is probably 8-8. So a pretty big range there. 2 games to 8 games. 7 teams making the playoffs. Maybe that could somehow sneak them in. I don't see playoffs this year, even though it's trying to predict that they would be in the playoffs at 8-8, but still a lot of teams to get through here still with these videos. 2 to 8 range. It's tough seeing a team only win 2 games, especially because the team's better than, evaluating their roster, probably a little better than 2 games. But pretty tough schedule, I guess, for a team that we don't expect to be the best. Or where did I have this? I had it like so. I had the Colts. That's really the one that can go either way. They're at the top. Same with a game like the Lions. It's tough. Tough schedule. Still a team that's growing, so I just don't have too many expectations here for the Jags. And it would be interesting to see what happens if they get, a first overall pick or a second overall pick. What would they do? They would definitely, if they had the first overall, they would take Trevor Lawrence if they had the first overall pick. So they would definitely go that quarterback route. I don't think they're sold on Minshew yet. Just because they're choosing him for this year doesn't really mean that they 100% are. So still just a kind of a trial for him, and he could, he could prove to be the guy. So we're going to see here. Let me know your thoughts going through every single team, like I said, and then please subscribe to both of our channels. Follow our Twitter. We would really appreciate any of that. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.